DEI, Diversity, Equity and Inclusion, claims to fight discrimination by prioritizing underrepresented groups in hiring and promotions, supposedly boosting diversity, inclusion, and positive outcomes for everyone. In this video, I'm ranking and debunking the most common arguments defending DEI on a tier list, from the ones that at least attempt coherent reasoning to those built on straight-up deception. DEI increases profitability. This claim argues that the firms that use DEI have seen an increase in performance, as much as 25 to 36%, according to a notorious McKinsey study. Unfortunately, the often cited study is a fantasy. Attempts at replication, such as Green and Hand's 2024 study, find no link. Additionally, companies that rolled back DEI programs have reported no financial harm from doing so. Multiple meta-analysis on board gender diversity show near zero or negative correlation of performance. Flawed tier. If McKinsey's study wasn't a fantasy, this would have been the strongest argument for DEI. Diverse teams are more creative. This claim argues that different cultural backgrounds lead to different ways of seeing the world, leading to more creativity. This argument implicitly assumes that all cultures are equal for any given task, just offering fresh perspectives on how to do things. They are not. The fact that your most recent hire traditionally eats banana and rice doesn't mean he has any real insight into a technical problem. Studies show skill/professional background diversity helps innovation, but race and gender diversity shows mixed to negative effects on creativity. Flawed tier. DEI reduces human bias. This claim argues that human bias plays a part in disparate outcomes and should be fought against. And it's true, humans do have a bias. But I don't see how the solution to human bias is blanket systemic bias. It gets even more ridiculous when you look at who has the most in-group bias. Whites, for example, consistently show the least in-group bias, and yet DEI targets them negatively. Meanwhile, other groups have massive in-group bias, yet DEI incentivizes it. We see entire companies become nepotistic when certain groups control hiring. DEI's focus is equalizing outcomes, not correcting bias, and it shows. Flawed tier. DEI improves employee morale. As anyone had to sit through a mandatory HR DEI lecture can tell you, this one is laughable. In fact, DEI programs have been directly linked to increased turnover and churn, including among the groups that they set out to protect. Weak tier. DEI better serves diverse markets. The claim here is that diverse workforce can tailor products to their own identity groups better. But then why do we not just use a standard merit system? If they actually deliver a better tailored product, then they are of greater merit, and we don't need DEI. And if they don't deliver a better product, then their identity is irrelevant. Customers consistently prioritize price and quality over feeling represented. Weak tier. DEI broadens the recruitment pool, resulting in higher talent. This one is just a lie, because DEI competes with standard merit-based hiring and argues on the basis of hiring for identity. This is obvious. If you're making identity relevant to the hiring process, you automatically devalue merit. There's no way around that. And because of diversity quotas, firms often have to lower standards. Deceptive tier. And is particularly troubling when an emergency service like a fire department does it. DEI promotes equal opportunity. DEI seeks equality of outcome, not equality of opportunity. It just assumes that disparity in outcome is a result of disparity in opportunity. But at no point does it prove that. DEI competes with merit-based selection. Same as before, if you make identity a factor in the hiring process, you automatically devalue merit. That's the whole point. This is basic logic. Weak tier. Equal representation in media is good. Representation is good, but deception is bad. Take for example DEI practices in documentaries, movies, etc., replacing established characters, even historical figures of members of another identity. This signals two things. First, it's a racist insult to the members of the replaced identity. Second, it signals that the people now being represented don't have the capacity to have their own interesting characters or historical figures, and thus need to steal other people's legacies. Weak tier. Meritocracy is a myth. This claim argues merit is inherently prejudicial, and discrimination is so intertwined with the human condition that it can't really be dealt with. It turns prejudice into an unfalsifiable demon infecting everyone's minds. But here's the thing, we do have objective standards. How much profit a company makes is objective. Whether or not a plane crashes due to an incompetent pilot is objective. Whether a firefighter has the strength to carry a large man out of a burning building is objective. And since these standards can be objective, merit too can be objective. They only become arbitrary and prejudicial when we start hiring to fill up quotas regardless of standards, which is exactly what DEI promotes. Deceptive tier. DEI corrects systemic and historical injustice. This claim argues that due to historical and systemic reasons, certain populations have been disadvantaged, and action must be taken to correct these wrongs. Here, DEI reveals its post-Marxist colors. Implicitly, it assumes that all disparities are a result of discrimination, rather than practical constraints. The problem is that that belief is a fantasy. Discrimination does not account for all disparities between groups, not even close. When asked to point to specific injustices, laws, or systems that artificially cause these differences, the post-Marxist consistently fails. But his mind does not allow him to consider non-systemic reasons, as that would be racist or sexist in his worldview. Post-Marxist attempts to correct supposed injustice does nothing except create new victims and breed resentment. Deceptive tier. DEI is based on a single premise. Disparity is the result of systemic oppression. But that claim doesn't align with reality. And as a result, their initiatives to combat the made-up demons in their heads do nothing but harm the very people they are trying to help. That concludes the tier list. If there are any other arguments you would like to see ranked, share them in the comments below.